Sometimes friends fight, but not this much. Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 TV best friends who hated each other in real life.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
For this list, we'll be looking at actors who portrayed best friends on screen, but actually hated each other behind the scenes. For the purposes of this list, we will only be including best friends, so romantic couples will not be included.
You're staring.
I'm gazing.
It's creepy.
It's romantic.
Number 10, Isaiah Washington and Patrick Dempsey, Grey's Anatomy. You know a relationship is fraught when it comes to physical blows. Unfortunately, that's exactly what happened between Isaiah Washington and Patrick Dempsey on the set of Grey's Anatomy. According to Isaiah, Patrick was repeatedly late to the set, and this led to an intense argument between the two. During the argument, Washington used a homophobic slur, and the fight came to physical blows. Washington was later fired from the show due to his use of the homophobic slur, although he later found work on The 100 playing Thelonious Jaha.
I'm sorry.
Number 9, Zendaya and Bella Thorne, Shake It Up. Zendaya and Bella Thorne never came to physical blows like Dempsey and Washington, but their relationship was still rocky throughout the first season of Shake It Up.
Oh, I would so kill you to be on that show. Oh, I would so let you.
Thorne told J14 that she and Zendaya were, quote, forced to compete against each other during the first season of the show, and that it made things, quote, very awkward between them. She didn't go into too many details, so we're not exactly sure what she means by being forced to compete with Zendaya. But either way, the two sat down and talked through their differences, ending the hostility and becoming real-life best friends in the process. Number 8, B. Arthur and Betty White, The Golden Girls. It's hard to imagine the adorable Betty White having an enemy, but she really did not get along with her Golden Girls co-star B. Arthur. Their feud has become a well-known piece of pop culture, with several interviews throughout the years discussing their animosity towards each other.
I don't know what I ever did. I don't know, but she was not that thrilled with me. But I loved Bea, and I admired her.
B. Arthur's son told Closer that Bea, quote, carried the attitude that it was fun to have somebody to be angry at, and that she directed this hatred towards Betty White. White also admitted to the Village Voice that Bea didn't like her and found her to be a, quote, pain in the neck.
Girls, isn't it wonderful how we always have such a good time together?
While details are scarce, many believe that their unfriendliness came from personality clashes and vast differences in acting style. Number 7, Julianna Margulies and Archie Panjabi, The Good Wife. About midway into The Good Wife's run, a strange thing started happening. Best friends Kalinda and Alicia weren't spending time together. And when it came time to film Kalinda's final scene with Alicia, the showmakers were forced to use visual effects trickery to make it appear like they were standing in the same room. Clearly, something had gone on behind the scenes. Julianna Margulies and Archie Panjabi were no longer acting together.
I don't want mess. What mess? Alicia, I haven't changed.
Critics brought this up to Panjabi at a Television Critics Association conference, but she only gave a vague response, saying that she wanted the drama that occurred on set to stay on set. We can respect that decision, but still, it's frustrating not knowing the deets.
Well, thank you, jurors. That ends your service. We will reconvene on Friday for sentencing. Good night.
Number 6, Ariana Grande and Jennette McCurdy, Sam and Cat. It's amazing what money can do to a friendship. Sam and Cat collapsed in 2014 after Jennette McCurdy realized that Ariana Grande was being paid much more than she was, despite being a co-lead.
When people are telling you, this person hates you, then you're just like, ah, I hate you too, and you go kind of like crazy.
The series was put on hiatus, and McCurdy tried renegotiating her contract, but the entire thing instead fell apart when Nickelodeon canceled the series. Later, Jennette wrote a scathing essay about toxic friendships, and many readers assumed that the essay was aimed at Ariana. Jennette went on to release a web series called What's Next for Sarah, which featured the ditzy, self-centered Gloriana, who bore a striking resemblance to Ariana Grande.
Oh, how have you been? What have you been up to now that your show's been canceled? That's a super bummer, right?
Most viewers connected those dots. Number 5, Michele and Naya Rivera, Glee. From the sound of things, Glee was just as dramatic behind the camera as it was in front.
You are short, you are awful, and that is never gonna change.
Rumors of a feud between Michele and Naya Rivera had persisted on the internet, leading Naya to address them in her autobiography, Sorry Not Sorry. She admits that their friendship broke down throughout the series, mostly because, quote, Leah didn't like sharing the spotlight.
You felt like she was unprofessional.
Definitely.
On the set.
Definitely.
As you may remember, Santana became much more pronounced and important in the later seasons of the show. She also stated that Leah had trouble digesting criticism and, quote, assumed Naya was bitching about her. It all culminated in a messy working relationship during season 6 as Leah refused to talk to Naya off-screen.
This is crazy. We're friends.
Not really.
Number 4, Blake Lively and Leighton Meester, Gossip Girl. According to the show's executive producer and writer Joshua Safran, Blake Lively and Leighton Meester were never friends. In his opinion, their personalities were just too different, as Blake was lively and personable, whereas Leighton was quiet and reserved. And while they never fought or got into heated arguments, they were never particularly close, despite their on-screen interactions. In Safran's own words, quote, Blake and Leighton were not friends, while a source later told Perez Hilton that Blake and Leighton do not speak and, quote, continue to stay as far away from each other as possible. So yeah, that doesn't sound very good.
I think we've seen enough.
Number 3, Lucille Ball and Vivian Vance, The Lucy Show. Following the iconic I Love Lucy, both Lucille Ball and Vivian Vance starred in The Lucy Show, an equally successful sitcom that ran from 1962 to 1968.
Well, there's no point in whispering, dear. We're all in the same class.
What year was that, honey? Never mind, Viv. Now, come on, go mingle. Find Chris.
Their relationship was relatively harmonious. That is, until the show's 3rd season, when Vivian began to grow tired of her weekly cross-country commute, and her ever-deteriorating working relationship with Lucille Ball.
Party of the first part must promise to never dye her hair within 5 shades either way.
When she then requested more creative control, opportunities, and more money, her request was denied. Feeling betrayed, Vance left both the series and Ball behind. But the actresses would sporadically reunite throughout the years until Vance died of bone cancer in 1979.
I consider the years I spent on I Love Lucy to be perhaps the biggest rip-off of my career.
Number 2, Shannen Doherty and Jennie Garth, Beverly Hills 90210. Shannen Doherty is probably one of the most infamous actresses in the industry, and her reputation certainly precedes her.
Do you remember Brenda Walsh here? Remember she used to be your best friend? Well, we all have our crosses to bear. Or our legs to uncross.
She and Jennie Garth did not get along while filming Beverly Hills 90210, and Garth told E! News that, quote, there were times they wanted to claw each other's eyes out. Tori Spelling also recounts a time that they had come to physical blows and needed to be separated. In fact, their relationship grew so toxic that Spelling had her father, executive producer Aaron Spelling, write Shannen Doherty off the show. Luckily, the actresses have settled their differences and are now good friends.
Yeah, well, with friends like that, who needs enemies?
Before we see who had the most animosity towards each other, here are a few honorable mentions.
That's right, because we are still here for you.
And no psycho on wheels is going to change that.
I didn't do it to betray you, Prue. I did it out of love.
Right.
Love.
Come on! Come on!
This fairy tale is wonderful and remarkably detailed, but if we don't hurry, I'm gonna miss my date.
Number 1, Sarah Jessica Parker and Kim Cattrall, Sex and the City. In real life, Carrie and Samantha were enemies from day one. According to sources, Sarah didn't like that Kim was getting all the attention, while the cast quickly gravitated towards Sarah, leaving Kim alone and without an ally.
All about the pheromones. We're all just animals reacting to each other's smell.
Sarah and Kim eventually just stopped speaking to each other, and Kim was even reluctant to do the movie due to her antagonistic relationship with Sarah. When Kim's brother passed away in 2018, Sarah offered her condolences, but Kim wasn't having any of it. She went for Sarah's throat on Instagram, writing, quote, "You are not my family, you are not my friend. Stop exploiting our tragedy in order to restore your nice girl persona." So they're still not friends then.
I don't know, I found it very upsetting because that's, you know, that's not the way I recall our experience.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.